Lou. I'm a product designer. Um, I'm just starting this process or this journey to, share how sometimes I think through my work. So you'll see that on my screen, I have a single screen, and I'm just going to hold Command down and just try and zoom in. Yeah, that's much better. So you'll be able to see. So I have a screen. This is going to be for a field service. It's a field service app, I guess, if I'm saying that correctly. You'll see that there's an assessment area, which would be rooms, kitchens, whatever. And you have a question, and we have the actual, so question number and the actual question or the evaluation criteria. Then we have an evaluator's rating. So this could be 3 star. This is also dynamic, as well as an attachments area with underneath that there's a tooltip area. So the main aim of this lesson, or it's not even a lesson per se, but I'm just documenting how I work, is to try and get all of that dynamic data into this screen, so that you could see how the screen responds, one, as well as to make sure that you have as accurate as possible a prototype. So how I did this, you'll see that, okay, so this is within a frame. So I wrapped a frame, but inside of that frame there's a component instance, and underneath that component instance I have two things. I have top and I have bottom. So I'll just zoom in a little bit so you could be able to see that clearly. So I have top as well as bottom, and then inside of the top I have the inner group, which is the top navigation. I have the progress bar, which is a component. I also have, then underneath that, I have the screen organism. So I've broken that down into, there's a looper section which I can toggle on or off. And then I have a question. So that's the question section, as well as the evaluator's rating. That's pretty much how top is built. And then in the bottom, I have buttons, and then I have the bottom bar. So what I've done is that I have a main component here. And in this main component, what I've done is I've tagged, for example, progress bar, right? And then inside of progress bar, you'll see there's a layer called progress bars. So I've tagged that so that it receives dynamic data from Google Sheets. And I'll show that in just a second, as well as the question that's also been tagged. So you'll see that it also has tag requirements. I think it's called requirement something, or requirement criteria. This is actually, let me just command click. Yeah, this is called errata. This is called show notes to landlord, etc. So this is cool because what I can then do, because I have this tagging here set up, I can then run, and I'll show you this from Google Sheets. So I have all of my data coming in from Google Sheets. You'll see that I have assessment areas, ID, steps, requirement criteria, and the whole lot, right? And some of the stuff is essentially like an if statement. So for example, if I have a rater that is 3 stars, so if the value is out of 3 for the rating, then in the rater component, which is what I've named these 3 stars, is that rater component will show the variant that says 3 stars. So that's the cool part of it, and it allows me to iterate over a bunch of screens within a few minutes. Once I've got the single design done, I can then iterate through this whole set of designs or screens, um, within a few minutes, right? So what I'm just gonna basically do, because right now this is like a lot of screens. So what I'll do is I will run auto grid. Auto grid. Oops, I spelled it wrong. And essentially what I'll do is I'll tell it that I want to have 4 columns so I can organize my screen better. Cool. So I used AutoGrid to set this thing up.